All right, everybody, we are back. Now, if you saw the show,
Good
obviously,
show.
this past
Good show, by
Friday,
the way.
the draft lasted about an hour, which I guess is pretty typical. And things got heated, which, as per normal, that's the way it always seems to go, because we have very different approaches to fantasy football. Some of us are more cautious in some positions. Some of us like to draft other positions higher than others, and we all have our reasons and our thought processes behind it. So we're just gonna, because we ran out of time, we're gonna kind of recap the draft, break it down, do some takeaways. No real point in us arguing the picks because we were doing that live. Go back and listen to the show, episode 106. But we're just gonna take a look at the draft and kind of our thoughts about it. So
and just like all little league sports right now, nobody's wrong. Everybody wins.
Yeah, true. So
It sucks, by the way. I disagree with that. All right, that's what kids need. They need winners and losers.
You're a loser.
Stop coddling these children,
so
making them winners.
You are blowing out everyone's ears right now. All right. Now,
I'm very upset about this.
Clearly. So to recap really fast again, we got Jameis Winston as our quarterback, Lamar Miller and Eddie Lacy as our starting running backs. This was a 3-wide receiver league, old school standard format. Antonio Brown, Allen Robinson, Tyreek Hill. We got Jack Doyle as our tight end, Justin Tucker as our kicker, and our defense was the Giants defense. Our bench, we had Doug Martin and Christian McCaffrey as our running backs. We have wide receivers Martavis Bryant, Jordan Matthews, and Mike Wallace. And then we also drafted tight end O.J. Howard as a backup and prospect. So, looking at the draft, what really stood out to you guys? Quarterbacks to me fell. Aaron Rodgers is usually a third-round value. He didn't go until the top of the fourth. That was interesting to me. Rob Gronkowski consistently going in the third. That kind of stood out to me as well. What are some things that stood out to you guys?
Yeah,
Leonard Fournette in the second, middle of the second.
Oh yeah. He had that Ezekiel Elliott rub in this draft versus what we were talking about on Tuesday's show. But if this was individual, we were doing individual drafting, I definitely would have jumped on Aaron Rodgers because that's incredible value. This guy should be going in the first, second round, and he went in the fourth. Yep. That's amazing.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. Yep. I wait on quarterbacks. We all know this. This is pretty much universally known at this point. In the fourth round, I would be thinking about Aaron pretty heavily, weighing it against what was available around him. And if he was there in the fifth, he's on my team guaranteed. So that's the high. Third round being his value, I would not draft him there. But fourth, I'd be thinking about it. Fifth, I would definitely pull the trigger. So I agree. Andrew Luck, Tom Brady, those are the top 3 quarterbacks taken. Drew Brees, the 4th, and then Marcus Mariota, the 5th quarterback off the board, which was very surprising to me. He's looking good.
He's looking real good.
I just
got some good stuff around him now.
I just don't understand why Marcus Mariota is going in the 6th
before Matt Ryan.
Yeah, as the 5th wide receiver. Yeah. Wow, 5th quarterback, but ahead of Matt Ryan, ahead of Russell Wilson, and yet. Jameis Winston, who has many more weapons and has been very good, we got him all the way in the 10th round, which honestly, looking at the trends, I mean, it's easy to look back in hindsight. We could have waited even longer on. So I don't understand that at all. I have Jameis Winston in my rankings much higher than Marcus Mariota. I don't know. We haven't done our consensus rankings yet, but surprising to me. You guys have any thoughts? Why? I mean, they added Corey Davis, obviously, but do you guys have any reason to think that Marcus Mariota should be going as the number 5 fantasy quarterback?
That's very interesting. I mean, you can make a good argument and debate about this. I mean, you got the mobility with him, and it kind of felt like to me during the season that the training wheels are really off. I mean, they really took their hands off of him. I felt like they were coddling him a lot, and then they just let him go. And then he started playing really well, and he had great stretches. And getting the ball out, that exotic smash mouth was doing their thing. Everything was effective. It was more influent. So now when you adding a couple more pieces onto the offense, to me, I'm thinking that maybe you're really stocking up a lot of talent around Marcus Mariota because he's a talented quarterback, and you put good pass catchers and explosive players around him. That makes it even more dangerous. Then on the other side, you go with Jameis Winston. You're doing the exact same thing. I mean, you're giving him O.J. Howard. You're giving him a Chris Godwin. You picked up Deshaun Jackson in free agency. This is just weapons on weapons, and you sneakily got some rookies in there to ensure up the offensive line. And this is another year for Jameis, so he's more savvy, he's more
And
comfortable,
not coming back from a broken leg.
right? And a broken leg. So this is just all good things that Jameis probably has the upper hand on. You know what I mean? So I can see both sides of the argument, and I can feel it.
I'm surprised I'm not surprised that Marcus went high. I'm surprised that Jameis went low, really. It's surprising that he dropped all the way to the 10th round.
As the 12th
Mariota, if you
quarterback.
look at what they did in the draft, if you look at what they did in the draft, they surrounded him with weapons. They really want to load up and get this guy somebody to throw the ball to.
Yep.
So I can completely understand people going, okay, I'm going to take a really hard look at Marcus Mariota. This is going to be a top 10 quarterback this year. But Jameis Winston, they kind of did the same thing. Like what CJ said, they surrounded him with some weapons. He's probably got Doug Martin coming back, so he's going to have a solid running game. And he's got all of the upside of Marcus Mariota. So I'm shocked that they were drafted so far apart. It's kind of like what we talked about with Michael Crabtree and Amari Cooper being drafted so far apart, which again happened this time that they were drafted 2 rounds away from each other. So it's weird to me that how some people value some of these players.
Mm.
I mean,
the computer.
It's very strange. I just don't understand. Again, Marcus Mariota as a top 5 quarterback, Jameis Winston as the 12th quarterback, barely a quarterback one, which just blows my mind. I would take him so far ahead of some players that went ahead of him, like Matthew Stafford and Cam Newton. With the uncertainty with the new weapons, I'd take him ahead of Kirk Cousins easily. Ben Roethlisberger is constantly injured, so I'd probably be taking him ahead of him. So yeah, I would have him right up there with the Matt Ryans, the Russell Wilsons, way ahead of Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Crazy. And Derek Carr, you'd think he'd be more down there with Derek Carr. Derek Carr was the 13th quarterback taken.
I'm shocked by that, too.
Yeah. And the only reason I'm okay with Derek Carr being taken that late is because he also is coming back from a broken leg. So same boat as Marcus Mariota, yet drastically different draft stock. So that kind of blew my mind. Another thing that kind of stood out to me, Latavius Murray back of the 8th, and then Dalvin Cook in the middle of the 9th. So again, showing that nobody knows what to expect from that position.
Yeah.
And we're hearing it's going to be a committee, so I guess that's kind of appropriate. I don't know. I'll throw it to you guys because that's a lot of examples for me. What else kind of stood out for you guys?
What's up with this? I mean, how you guys feel about Bilal Powell in the 6th? I know we talked about this a couple shows ago about the Jets. If there's any option, you're gonna go probably there. You're gonna go Bilal Powell. But once again, yes, he's gonna get the volume there. But man, I mean, look, I'm trying to remember another example where we had it was right in my face. I'm sorry. Look, Lamar Miller. We talked about when Osweiler was there that Lamar Miller is going to get the chunk of the carries because he's that guy. He's going to be that volume back. But then later on in the season, he just ran out of gas because they ran him into the ground.
And he got hurt.
And he got hurt. And I feel like that they're going to do the exact same thing with Bilal Powell because there's nobody else there. And they don't trust in the quarterback situation. You can't trust there with the Jets.
Well, there's Matt Forte, obviously, but
but no, he's going to be their pass catching guy. I don't think you can rely on him. He's up in age. Bilal Powell is the guy, but once again, I feel like they're going to run him into the ground there.
Bilal Powell in the 6th, Matt Forte in the 9th. So
9th.
Pretty interesting discrepancy there.
Interesting.
Danny Woodhead going in the
John
8th.
Ross.
Interesting to me. Again, he's going to be kind of a gadget player in Baltimore. I don't know if that's name recognition. Go ahead, Jason.
Who's it? Who's in the 8th?
Danny Woodhead in the 8th as Ravens.
Woodhead.
I don't think he's going to be the workhorse, so I'm surprised that he went as high as he did. Terrence West, who we're expecting to be the starter, he went undrafted, I believe. So I don't know.
Where did Mike Williams end up going?
Mike Williams went in the 9th round.
Okay, so John Ross went right after him, basically, in the 10th round, and Corey Davis went where in the
6, 7. John Ross was 8 wide receivers behind Mike Williams.
Right. He was in the 10th round. He was in the middle of the 10th, whereas Mike Williams was in the beginning of the 9th.
Right.
And Corey Davis went in the top of the 5th.
Yep.
that's interesting to me because Mike Williams is. I mean, they made arguments that he was the best receiver in the draft. I don't think so. I think Corey Davis is better.
I agree.
But I don't know if he's 4 rounds better than you know.
Also going to a team that likes to pound the ball, exotic smash mouth football, running the ball, where Mike Williams in a higher end passing offense, but again, there's so many mouths to feed in. I keep want to say San Diego.
That, well, yeah, and it just goes to show that that belief in Marcus Mariota and that Tennessee offense. I mean, Corey Davis, a rookie receiver, going into 5th, and then Marcus Mariota going into 6th. I mean, there's some belief there. It may be a computer, but it has belief in its heart.
I got Mike Williams getting more touchdowns than Corey Davis, though, just because of the offense that he's in.
It's definitely possible. I could see it.
Something else I noticed is, what did we say? We talked about this right before we started the draft, CJ, and we said, you asked me where would we take Leonard Fournette, and then where would we take Christian McCaffrey? And I think I said Leonard Fournette in the 3rd, and Christian McCaffrey in the 5th.
Yeah,
he ended up going 2nd and 5th.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about on the Patreon show, and I was telling Jason about that. And just threw it out there, just asking what he said. And for Fournette, in the consensus that we were doing before we did this, Fournette was going in the 8th round.
Yeah.
Yeah,
his average draft position, that was crazy.
Yeah, that is garbage. I mean, that's credible value for you if you get him there.
Yeah.
Look, good gracious.
Right. There's no way he goes that late. Yeah. It's never going to happen.
So he took a big jump in this simulation that we
Well, we had talked about second round was probably his value by the time this was all said and done, and here he is already there.
There you go.
And then McCaffrey in the 5th, that's pretty good value for a rookie running back that could possibly be a gadget player, I mean, that's pretty good value.
I'm telling you.
Lynch in the 3rd. Interesting.
Yeah, Marshawn Lynch?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Taken behind Joe Mixon, but ahead of C.J. Anderson. And Mark Ingram going in the 4th, even though we didn't really talk about that on the show. There's now reports coming out that he might be being traded, and a lead candidate is the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yep. But they had a little injury to their starting center, I think.
Yeah. Oh, look at this value. Paying attention to the post show, talking about something that we didn't talk about on the main show.
Look at that.
Man, it matters.
I would love to see it. I would love to see Mark Ingram go to Philadelphia because that would up his stock immediately.
He'd be great
there. And we will absolutely use him, and he will shine and show how good he was. What was it? What was that? 2 years ago where he was that good?
He was good last year too.
Just rub it, and we have a good habit of taking Saints players and turning them into gold for us.
True. What about Rob Kelly going in the 5th, but then Samaje Pierce going in the 8th?
I like Samaje
Pirine.
I always want to say Pierce. Why do I always want to say Pierce? Pirine. Yeah, you're right.
I have no idea. I don't know why you do that.
I don't know either.
But I like Samaje Pirine. I think he's going to be a good downfield back for him, and I hate it because he's with the Redskins. But he's gonna be really good if they let him loose and take Mr. Kelly take a back seat.
Yeah.
Kelly is going to be the starter for now, but I really do think Samaje Perine is going to push for that starting position.
I could definitely see it. What was I going to say? No shocks in the top 6, obviously. David Johnson, Ezekiel, Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, Odell Beckham. You can mix and match those guys as you like, but a lot of people are saying that Mike Evans is kind of that next guy, but he didn't end up going till the back of the 1st, so that was interesting to me. But especially in a standard scoring league, I mean, he is a PPR monster, but I mean, he gets a lot of targets, he gets a lot of touchdowns, and he is a wide receiver in a 3 wide receiver league, more value there. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. I have seen a lot of mocks where he's going as the number 1 wide receiver now, so that's kind of crazy. He finished as the number 1 last year, so you can't necessarily argue it per se, but I think you definitely could make a strong case. Yeah, we can argue it.
We can totally argue it.
Yeah. I mean, Antonio Brown obviously without Ben Roethlisberger for chunks of the season, so Alshon Jeffrey in the 3rd in Philadelphia. A lot of faith that the passing game is going to take a big uptick there.
I believe it.
What about anything's better than Chicago right now, so yeah. Dang. Let's see. Anything else that really stood out to you guys? Eric Ebron in the 7th shocked me.
Why does that shock you? Why do? Okay, Griffin, please tell the audience.
Probably.
Why are you
that he was
still?
drafted at all?
Why are you still on Eric Ebron? How many times does this guy have to just go out there and just stink and
He
disappoint
has
you?
trended upwards every single season, but no, that's the opposite of the point I'm making. I know that a lot of people are in the opposite field. Yeah, a lot of people have the different thought process than I do. I'm shocked that he went as the in the 7th round. Yeah, I thought he would be a double-digit guy for sure. I mean, he was the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th tight end off the board.
Okay, all right.
That was surprising to me, is what I'm saying.
That is a bit high.
You're coming back to it. Okay,
I'm coming back to you. So I don't know. I don't know why he went that high. I wouldn't take him that high, and I'm high on him.
High.
So
yeah, it's definitely high.
Definitely high.
I'm sure we could find a lot of trends
overall,
and a lot more stuff too if we were to analyze this. This is really hot takes post the draft.
It's hot.
Yeah.
Fresh off the pan. Kenneth Dixon in the knife, man. What's that about? Isn't he still doing that suspension thing going on?
Yeah, he's still suspended for the first couple games. So that's
what
probably
do
why
you
he
got?
dropped.
What's the deal with you guys? I mean, because you guys you kind of do like Russian roulette when it comes to you guys as running back.
The way that it's looking right now is that Terrence West is going to be the starter, which again we did not draft when we had the opportunity to. Danny Woodhead's going to be the change of pace, third down pass catching back, and then when Kenneth Dixon comes back, he's going to be the guy who is the gadget player that'll probably spell both of them because he can do both. Maybe eventually he'll take over as the lead back. Maybe mix and match him and Danny Woodhead in the offense and then use Terrence West more in the red zone. It's going to be kind of interesting to see how we mix and match them if we don't make another signing, which by all accounts we're still really looking to do. I mean, we've been linked to LeGarrette Blount. I mean, that's exactly the kind of red zone weapon that we're looking for. So kind of interesting. We'll see how it shakes out. But I say that a lot, but honestly, we don't know. We have about 1 million running backs, 1 million tight ends, and no wide receivers. So
yeah. Something I find interesting, if you look down in the 10th round, people started taking New England running backs. Rex Burkhead went in the 10th.
Yep.
And then you had Gillislee in the 11th, and right after him, Deion Lewis. And then all the way into the 12th, you had LeGarrette Blount. And then in the 13th,
James White.
Yep. It's like a cluster of New England running backs, and no one knows where these guys are going to end up.
I feel like
they don't know where to go with them.
I feel like a lot of people are looking for that diamond in the rough, but in reality, it's going to be a massive committee, so I don't think anyone's going to win with those picks. And LeGarrette Blount not even on a team right now, so that's crazy to me.
Yeah. Well, no, he's technically on a team.
No,
he's a Patriot at the moment.
No, he's
not. He's not a Patriot. He can still sign with any other team. It's just the Patriots are going to get something out of it if he does sign with a team when he signs with another team.
Does that not make him a Patriot right now?
No, he's think of him at like a restricted free agent kind of thing, or one of those things where if when players have their rookie contracts expire or their contracts expire and they end up leaving in free agency, teams usually get compensatory picks. He was not eligible for that based on the contract that he had, but now with this tender they put on him, they will now get compensation for him leaving. It should be about a 4th round compensatory pick if he signs with another team. And they're not getting that. They're not getting that from another team. It's just a compensatory pick from the league. So
Spencer Ware went too high. That's one thing I think. Spencer Ware is too high at 4.
Yeah, I agree with that too. It's because it's just too murky there with that running back situation. Yeah. Way too murky.
I mean, if he's the lead back, taken him. I mean, taking him as an RB2 there, no. I think it might be high, but I would take him ahead of a lot of the guys that went after him. Like, I'd take him above Rob Kelly.
Yeah.
So.
I wouldn't take him before Frank Gore.
I don't know. Frank Gore's another year older. Frank Gore is ancient now, but yeah.
It doesn't matter, man. You saw what he did last year.
See what he's done every year.
He
Frank Gore has been this amazing late round value. He's finished as an RB1 like every single year.
Somehow. His old bones crushed through that line. He's like, get on the porch. He's knocking people off his porch as he's going by.
Maybe some sabotage going on from Frank Gore's camp around the league. I don't know. So I mean,
you think this is a bounce back year for Tyler Eifert? I see he got picked up in the 6th.
I mean, he's one of those red zone weapons. There's always value there. He's a low volume, high production guy. That's like I was saying with Julius Thomas. I don't expect him to be a big yardage guy, but a red zone weapon. That's what makes Travis Kelce. Wow, Tyler Eifert so good. The problem is he's always injured. Oh
man, Jordan Reed went before Greg Olsen. That is disrespectful.
Well, most people would disagree. Most people have the tiering as Rob Gronkowski, then tier 2 is Jordan Reed, and then a lot of people have the third tier is Greg Olsen and Travis Kelce, and then the next tier is a lot of other guys. That's what I
disagree with that completely.
Which is fine. Everyone has their own take. I'm just telling you what the trends are around the league.
No, I agree with you. I'm just saying I don't agree with that. I mean, Greg Olsen has been number 1 or number 2. If Rob Gronkowski is injured, it's usually Greg is like next.
Well, yeah.
This year was Travis Kelce.
Well, that's kind of the knock.
I don't know.
I think that it is true that Gronk and Reed are the 2 best tight ends in the league, but they're both so constantly injured that the Greg Olsen is so much of a safer pick.
Yeah.
Because he gets you yardage and touchdowns, where Reed is a high volume play and Gronk is, kind of a red zone monster. And he also gets a lot of receptions. Yeah. But they showed in New England they could make the offense work without him. They won a Super Bowl without him. So just another weapon coming back to help the Patriots go probably undefeated next year. So,
you know who I'm not seeing anywhere? I'm not seeing Evan Ingram anywhere. Speaking of,
no, he did not get drafted. Neither did David Njoku.
Wow. That is one heck. That would be one. Both of those guys would be a heck of a waiver wire pickup.
Yeah, I mean, you have to see what Osweiler's going to do with Njoku, though. I mean, you saw what his track record was with Fedorowicz, so yeah.
If he even starts, we don't know.
Well,
we don't know what they're going to do with Osweiler. They drafted.
We don't know who's going to start.
He's still there, so I mean, looks like he's probably going to be the starter.
Nah, I mean, just because he's there doesn't mean he's going to be the starter. He could very easily be a camp casualty.
Super murky.
They literally acquired him for a second-round pick. They didn't care about him. All right, well, I mean, we've been talking for about 20 minutes. That's a lot of recap stuff. We can do probably for our warm-up on Tuesday, we'll do a more in-depth, like, what we learned. But this was just hot takes, what our initial takeaways from the draft. Todd Gurley's still going in the top of the second, so that's pretty cool, too. So, anything else you guys want to point out before we sign off?
I hate our receivers. Our running backs, I like our receivers.
That's why we should have added more depth. That's what I kept saying.
Our running backs are, they're okay. They're okay.
It would have looked a lot better with a Ryan Matthews or a Terrence West. That's all I'm saying.
Nah.
Not really.
Instead of
not all that much better.
Instead of a rookie bench tight end who's in a committee. I still don't get that.
No. We like him. He's good upside.
I would rather have Evan Ingram because he's going to get more volume. But
no, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not. He's not going to get more volume. You think he's going to get more volume with Odell Beckham Jr. and Brandon Marshall?
He's going to be out there for more
volume than O.J. Howard.
Absolutely. In a committee with Cameron Brate, who they like there. They have 2 pass-catching tight ends. So, I mean, I think the volume will be in Ingram's favor. I think that the production per catch will be with Howard, but I mean, even that could be wrong with how much. Rookie tight ends
they're rookies.
Never produce. They have flashes, but they never really break out till their second or really their third year. So that's why, again, I wouldn't have taken O.J. Howard, but, whatever.
He's the one. Everybody's got
he could be the one.
Matrix.
Yep.
Everybody got to have that Matrix moment, man. He can be Neil. He could be Neil for us.
I'm not saying that O.J. Howard won't have a couple weeks that are going to make everyone run out and sign him, but I don't think it sustains for a season. There's too many targets there. There's a tight end committee there. And we haven't seen a offense support a 2 tight end system except for the Patriots when it was Gronk and Hernandez. For fantasy purposes, that is. So, all right, let's get out of here. We will be back on Tuesday. Everyone have a great weekend. We'll see you then.
Happy Mother's Day, guys.
Yes, shout out to all the mothers out there.
Ladies, we love you. Love you, moms.
Yeah, love you, Mom. And we're out of here. Take care. Bye.
Life in the fast lane. Beautiful. Speed of life and I can't
Don't start singing.
Got a gallon in the gas tank. I'm almost at the finish line, so I can't stop now. I don't really know where I'm headed, just enjoying the ride. Gonna roll till I drop and ride till I die.
I'm gonna do it. Ain't gonna do it.